We are truly starting at the beginning. As you can see, I'm currently sitting at my desktop. Let's take and launch the AutoCAD 2008 application by double-clicking on the icon. When I do, AutoCAD brings up the splash screen. In just a second, it's going to bring the interface up on my screen. Now, I'm using a fresh install of AutoCAD, so my screen may look a little bit different than yours. If our screens are significantly different, what I'd like you to do is come up to the left-hand corner of the screen and click on this drop-down. This is our workspace toolbar. And you can see that I have several choices available. What I'd like you to do is set yours to AutoCAD Classic. Now our screen should look relatively similar. I thought before we got started with the videos, we'd take a quick trip around the interface and talk about some of the things that we see on our screen. The first thing I'm going to do before we get started is I'm going to turn some things off. I'm not going to be using this toolbar, so I'm going to come up and left-click on this X to remove it from the screen. I'm not going to be using this palette, so I'm going to come up and click on this X to turn him off. All right, the first area of the interface we're going to discuss is this large black area in the middle of the screen. This area is called Model Space, and this is our drafting board. The nice thing about Model Space is that it is infinite in size, and because of this, I don't have to worry about some of the things that used to concern us in the old days when we drafted with paper and pencil. You see, when we drafted on paper, we used to have to draw our geometry to a scale, such that it would fit within the confines of the sheet. Since Model Space is infinite in size, I can draft whatever I want, whether it be 5 inches or 5 miles, and I can draw it all at true size, or 1-to-1. If I look a little bit lower on my screen, I can see some tabs. Model Space is actually a tab. Now these tabs work the exact same way as they do in Microsoft Excel. If I'd like to flip from one tab to the other, all I have to do is click on the tab name. I'm going to click on Layout 1, and we can see that Layout 1 appears to be a sheet of paper. That's because it is a sheet of paper. Each one of these layout tabs represents a plottable sheet of paper that I can use when the time comes for me to print my drawing. Now we'll talk about these layout tabs later on when we get into plotting. For right now, I'd like to return to my drafting board, so I'm going to come down and click on my Model tab to return to Model Space. Model Space is where every great design takes shape. It's our virtual drafting board capable of handling our largest projects.